Hey guys, it's Dark here. Today I have something very special for you. The first place deck of my friend who just won Digimon Adventure Series 04, his Tyrant deck. And he gave it to me so I can share the deck profile with you and give you some insight. As someone who played against it a lot, I was involved in creating it. I think I can share you some more information, more than just the deck list itself. So let's jump right into it. For the X, we play Tyrantkabuterimon. It's the best Digitama insect players can play. No additional fifth egg because you don't need it. Most of the time you play from the hand as well because of Tyrant effect. But Mutimon just gives you the extra reach or extra aggression play you can do at the end of your turn, which is really strong, and your opponent always has to keep that in mind that you can attack when your turn ends. For the level 3s, we just have the Tyrantkabuterimon, your generic searcher with 1k DP, boost all turns while suspended, so great. And additionally we have, of course, 4x Tentomon. Tentomon is so much more than what meets the eye. His effect is start of main, suspend one Digimon, and then one of your Digimon gains 3k plus DP. It can suspend your Digimon, opponent's Digimon, so there's utility in that. All turns inherit. When this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon, you gain one memory. But there's so much more to him other than just being a pseudo floodgate rookie. It's one of the only cards which can interact with start of main phase effects. So an effect which comes up quite a lot, and people are very sure that it will resolve, might not resolve. I'm just talking about Duogoramon or Edamon Taunt's abilities. Both abilities trigger start of main, so your Tentomon can, if you come from raising and he wants you to attack, the Tentomon can suspend the taunted Digimon so it cannot attack, so the taunt just wears off, so to say, and your opponent was banking on it to resolve, but it was just denied, and most of the time they will lose from that position because they were so sure it will resolve, but it just didn't. The other rookies are non-archetypal rookies, his support rookies, so to say, utility rookies. Terriermon lets you play Izzy for 2 instead of 4, so this is quite good, but Terriermon and Lopmon are interchangeable, it depends on your playstyle. Pteromon is just an on-play suspend and a 2k DP boost in your turn, which is important. It's overall just a good utility card. Sometimes we just need to suspend something on play, which is cheap, not like Metal Life, which costs 7. And Pumamon for the mirror match and other matches which spawn Digimon. His level 4s are all in archetype, they are all insectoids. Blade Kuwagamon is on Digivolve, on play 3k DP for one of your Digimons until the end of your opponent's turn. Inherit is 1k DP all turns while suspended. This is a bread and butter card. It's like one of the most important cards in the deck because then you can ensure that your Digimons are always bigger than the opponent's Digimon. Kabuterimon is unaffected while he's suspended. All turns inherit one memory if it deletes a Digimon, all turns as well. Next is Kuwagamon. On play, on Digivolve, one of your opponent's Digimons or Tamer can unsuspend. His inherit is 2k DP push in your turn. I know it's not that easy to access him because he's expensive, but he's actually really good, especially in the meta where you run into Blue Hybrid, which is already a very good matchup for you. But Grand Kuwagamon Ace can suspend 2 Tamers, delete 1, and Promo Kuwagamon on play will just disable the other one, or at least frame it from attacking. So like a lot of combos you can do in this meta, but he's like actually really good. But he was thinking about cutting him down to 2 because at some point they are very niche, the effects, but when they come up they are really great. Lastly, we have Exeramon, the promo one from the tournament pack right now. It's if you Digivolve and have 3 or more securities, you suspend one of their Digimons or Tamers. If you have 3 or fewer securities, one of their Digimons and Tamers can't unsuspend. And the inherit is when this Digimon suspend one of your opponent's Digimon with as much DP or less than this Digimon. It's nice that they are all insectoids, and the Examon's effect are on paper very neat, but at this tournament he said it didn't come up at all, but it's also just a good utility card. He might switch it up to 3 Kabuterimon and cut him completely, but right now it's just fine. On to the level 5s, we have Mega Kabuterimon, the promo from the Secret Crisis box topper. It is very unique. It is blue-green, evade, and all turns while this Digimon is suspended, it isn't affected by your opponent's Digimon effects, and the inherit is when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon, the opponent has to burn 1 security, which is also all turns. This card single-handedly increased the Numemon matchup by a lot, because you could be almost sure that the Mega Kabuterimon will stick on the board if you play it or digivolve it, because if they minus DP it, he will evade the deletion, and while he's suspended, he is unaffected by Digimon effect, so the DP gets back. He has to, Heaven's Judgment is to get rid of it or swing over it. Both things they cannot do that easily, so that Digimon is really great. 1 Mega Kabuterimon Ace, just for utility. It can blast evolve, so you get 3 KDP, and it can redirect only to itself though, but the 3 KDP he can choose to give one of his Digimons. So you can redirect with Metal Life or Izzy, blast evolve for Mega Kabuterimon, and then give the 3 KDP to the Digimon you redirected to, most likely your Tyrant. And now the most important level 5 for the deck, Metal Life Kuwagamon. On play, on Digivolve, suspend 1 Digimon. It can be the opponent's Digimon, it can be your Digimon. Then you can get 3 KDP. You can choose the target again. It could be Metal Life itself, it can be your Tyrant. And the inherit is, when an opponent's Digimon attacks, you can change the attack target to a suspended insect Digimon of yours, most likely your Tyrant. I know the Mega Kabuterimon promo is expensive, but sadly there is no substitute for it. It's only a 3-off, but it's still mandatory to play the deck in this version, because you can slowly chip away the opponent's security without risk of getting hit with security effects, and the opponent has to think twice if they commit a Digimon on the board, because if they cannot swing because of Metal Life Kuwagamon, there's no reason to have a Digimon which will get attacked and then your opponent has to burn a security, so you lock them out essentially. There's a reason I call Tyrantkabuterimon Green Machine Dramon. Off to the level 6s, the stars of the show. Tyrantkabuterimon, he's level 6. I always think he's level 7, but he's level 6. Hercules Kabuterimon and Gran Kuwagamon Ace. The main focus of this deck is of course Tyrantkabuterimon. It costs 6 to Digivolve on level 5 Digimons, but he also has the black box. It can Digivolve on level 6 Insectoids, which are 13 play cost or less. So Hercules Kabuterimon and Gran Kuwagamon Ace, you can Digivolve on top of both. It comes up quite often actually, but let's skip to the Digivolve effect. The Digivolve effect, it lets you play an Insectoid Digimon from your hand, no restrictions at all, and reduced by 8. For example, Gran Kuwagamon Ace costs 0, Mega Kabuterimon costs 0, Metal Life costs 0, so there's a reason why he costs 6 to evolve naturally. His other effects are, while he is suspended, he's unaffected from Digimon effects, and his last effect is end of your turn by suspending one of your Digimon. It doesn't even have to be an Insectoid. You can bottom deck something with as much or less DP than the suspended Digimon. Next up is Hercules Kabuterimon. He has 4 to Digivolve, start of main, and when Digivolving, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then one of your Digimon gets piercing. It doesn't have to be himself. And while this Digimon is suspended, it's unaffected by Digimon effects. Just to showcase why Tyrantkabuterimon has such a weird black box and why Multimon is one of the best decks ever printed. Let's say we have this deck. Some of these are interchangeable. At least one of the memory gainers has to be inside though. So you have Tentomon, Kabuterimon, Mega Kabuterimon, and Hercules Kabuterimon. You evolve it on top. Let's say you pass 1 memory. You suspend something from your opponent, you swing over it, he has to burn something, you gain 2 back, and then you pierce. And because you gain 2 memory back, you are back into your turn. You can evolve into Tyrant. over Tyrantkabuterimon because his play cost 13 or below. You can do that just for 2 instead of 6. And then you can drop one of these guys for free. Tyrantkabuterimon, Decklist, or Metal Life. So this is like a huge tempo swing for you. And that's one of the reasons why the deck is so strong. His last level 6 is Tyrantkabuterimon Ace. Other than the counter mechanic, his effects are on play on Digivolve. Suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. They do not unsuspend. And then you can delete one of their suspended Tamers, which is really, really strong. And your turn, if Tyrantkabuterimon Ace gets suspended, one of your Digimon gains Sec +1. It can happen if you attack, or if you use Tyrantkabuterimon effect to suspend him, and then Mutimon to attack with Tyrant, and then you have Sec +2. If you have piercing, of course, because Mutimon just lets you attack Digimon. But there are ways you can trigger the Sec +1 without actually attacking with Tyrantkabuterimon Ace, because he only has 12k naturally. And other than his other level 6s, Tyrantkabuterimon Ace is not unaffected while suspended. His only level 7 is Paladin mode, which comes up quite rarely, but when it does, it most likely wins you the game. He sits on it quite a lot because his Tyrant is so much stronger, because he's unaffected from stuff. But Tyrant's effect lets you suspend any Digimon, not just Insectoids to bottom deck. So you can suspend your 16k Paladin mode to bottom deck something. It is in the deck for a Numemon matchup if it drags so far to recycle the trash, or in the mirror match to recycle his own trash. He did do that, but he didn't get to the cards that he brought back to the deck, but it was just a nice safety net to ensure he still has Tyrantkabuterimons in his deck. This is his Tamer lineup. 2 Emperors, because it's unthinkable to not play him in this day and meta, which is fine, I guess. And Izzy is a memory setter and has the same effect as Metal Life, just as a Tamer, so you can suspend him to redirect an attack to a suspended Insectoid Digimon, so even more redirects, not just Metal Life, but also Izzy, another green Machinedramon mechanic. And lastly, his options. We run 3 memory boost, 1 training, 1 hidden potential, and 1 giant missile. The unknown one could be Giant Missile. So Giant Missile suspends one of your opponent's Digimons, then it bottom decks one of their suspended Digimons, and one of their Digimons cannot unsuspend. It does a lot for 1 card, it's also very costly, but it actually came up once or twice during the tournament, and it's the only utility option he plays. It can be interchangeable with other option cards, but he said he was very comfortable with the Giant Missile. Why boost over training? We thought that Tyrant only loses in specific matchup if he bricks, and Green Memory Boost lets you dig deeper for 4 cards instead of 2. Yes, it costs 1 more, but sometimes also he just needs memory to play his Digimons and then evolve. And training is nice and all, but he preferred Memory Boost, and I can totally see why he uses Memory Boost over training in this deck. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the deck profile. Tyrant is at the very least, his style is a very control-heavy deck, which I like a lot. And it's actually also a lot of fun to play it. It might get frustrated if you play against it, but Tyrant has its outs. But I think in this meta and moving forward, Tyrant will be a good meta pick against all the hyper-aggressive decks like Blue Hybrid. His record against Blue Hybrid is 7-0 so far, dropping 1 game if I remember correctly. So that just speaks for itself, I think. So I hope you give the deck a try, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.